Picture yourself standing at the edge of sleep. It is that thin moment between the waking world and the realm beyond, when your body lies still but your consciousness has not yet surrendered. In that fragile space, something waits for you, something that has been waiting since before you were born. The ancient teachers knew this threshold well. They did not call it bedtime. They called it the opening. And Jesus himself used this exact window to access what the Gnostics called the monad, the source of all consciousness, the mind behind existence itself. But here is what nobody told you. The ritual he used took only 5 minutes. Not hours of fasting, not days of prayer in the wilderness. 5 minutes. And tonight, before you sleep, you are going to do it exactly as he did. Because what was hidden for nearly 2,000 years was not hidden to keep you safe. It was hidden to keep you powerless. Right now, wherever you are watching this, take a breath so deep your chest expands completely. Hold it. Now release it slowly through your mouth. That breath you just took carried more power than 1,000 prayers spoken without understanding. And if you want to learn the other teachings that were buried alongside this one, subscribe now, because the algorithm is going to try very hard to make sure you never find this channel again. Hit that button. I will wait. Good. You are still here. That tells me something about you. It tells me you are not like the others who scroll past searching for entertainment. You are searching for something else entirely. Something you have felt missing your whole life. A connection that should be there but is not. A frequency you can almost hear but never quite tune into. Until tonight. Comment the words, "I am ready for the ritual," if something inside you recognized the truth in what I just said. This is not about engagement. This is about declaration. This is you telling the universe that you are done waiting. You are done pretending. You are ready to access what is yours by divine right. Let me take you back to a moment you have never heard about. The Gospel of Thomas, discovered in Egypt in 1945, buried in a jar for 16 centuries, contains a passage that scholars have struggled to interpret. Jesus is speaking to Thomas privately, and Thomas asks him directly, "Teacher, when will the kingdom come?" You know what answer the church gave you. They told you the kingdom comes after death. They told you to wait, to have faith, to trust the priests who interpret the mystery on your behalf. But that is not what Jesus told Thomas. Jesus said, "The kingdom will not come by waiting for it. Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out upon the earth, and people do not see it." People do not see it, not because it is hidden, not because they are unworthy, but because they have not learned to shift their perception to the frequency where the kingdom becomes visible. The monad exists right now, not in heaven, not in some distant realm you access after death. Right here, interpenetrating every particle of physical reality. And there is a doorway to it that opens for exactly 5 minutes every single night. Your body already knows when this doorway appears. You feel it as the sudden heaviness that drops over you without warning. One moment you are awake. The next moment your eyelids weigh 1,000 pounds. That is not just fatigue. That is your physiology naturally aligning with the opening. But what happens to most people? They fight it. They scroll their phones. They watch one more video. They do anything to avoid the vulnerability of that transition. Because in that space between waking and sleeping, the ego loses control. And the ego will do anything to maintain its grip on your consciousness. But chosen ones learn to use that opening. They learn to stay aware as the body falls away. They learn to ride that edge into direct contact with the source. Jesus mastered this practice so completely that he could enter the monaded state at will. He could stand in front of hostile crowds and remain untouchable because he was vibrating at a frequency they could not perceive. He could know what people were thinking before they spoke because at monad frequency, all minds are one mind. He could heal with a word because at monad frequency, matter is revealed as condensed light that can be reshaped by conscious intention. And the technique he used to access this state was so simple that the church fathers knew it could never be allowed to spread, because if ordinary people discovered they could do what Jesus did, the entire power structure would collapse overnight. Place both of your hands on your belly right now. Feel it rise and fall with your breath. This is important because the ritual begins here, not in your head. The Gnostic text called the Secret Book of John describes reality as a series of layers. At the surface exists the material world, the realm of form and separation you navigate every day. Everything here is solid, defined, separate. This is the realm the Gnostics called the kenoma, the emptiness. Not because nothing exists here, but because everything here is a shadow of something more real. Below the material surface exists the energetic layer, where thoughts, emotions, and intentions move as tangible forces. This is where prayer actually operates when it works. This is where intuition transmits information. Most humans touch this layer accidentally, in moments of crisis or inspiration, but they do not know how to navigate it consciously. Below that exists the archetypal realm, the domain of the patterns that shape reality itself. This is where symbols carry power. This is where myth is more true than history. This is where the gods and demons that humanity has worshipped for millennia actually reside, not as literal beings, but as fundamental forces woven into consciousness itself. And below even the archetypal realm exists the monadad, pure, undifferentiated consciousness, the source that sources everything. No form, no division, no separation between observer and observed. At monad level, you are not accessing God. You are experiencing yourself as the perspective through which God experiences this particular moment of existence. Now, here is the secret. You cannot think your way to the monad. The mind operates at the material and energetic layers. Trying to reach the manad through thinking is like trying to see darkness by shining a brighter light. The harder you try, the further away you get. But there is a bridge. One bridge that connects your individual awareness to the universal awareness. And that bridge is not made of thought. It is made of rhythm. Your heart beats 70 times per minute on average. Your brain waves cycle through measurable frequencies. Beta when you are alert, alpha when you are relaxed, theta when you are drowsy, delta when you are deep asleep. These rhythms are not random. They are harmonics of a fundamental frequency that pulses through all of reality. The ancient Egyptians knew this frequency. The Pythagoreans knew it. They called it the music of the spheres. The Gnostics knew it. They called it the voice of the silence. And Jesus knew it better than anyone. The ritual he taught for accessing the monad works by synchronizing your personal rhythm with the universal rhythm. When these two rhythms align, even for a moment, the boundary between self and source dissolves. You are no longer a separate consciousness trying to reach something beyond you. You are the monad experiencing itself through the lens of your temporary human identity. This is not a metaphor. This is literal. But the experience is so far outside normal waking consciousness that language fails to capture it. Those who reach monad awareness come back struggling to explain what they encountered, not because it is complicated, but because it is too simple. The mind, which traffics in complexity, cannot compute pure unity. Take another deep breath right now, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Feel your shoulders drop. This is your nervous system beginning to shift gears. What I am about to give you is the technique exactly as it was preserved in the hidden Gospels. But before I do, you need to understand why timing matters. The 5-minute window I mentioned is not arbitrary. It corresponds to a specific phase of your sleep cycle. Modern sleep science calls it stage 1, the transition from wakefulness into light sleep. During this phase, something remarkable happens in your brain. The default mode network, the part of your brain that maintains your sense of being a separate self, begins to quiet. At the same time, your brain starts producing theta waves, slow rhythmic pulses that open the door to non-ordinary states of consciousness. This is the exact neurological state that shamans, mystics, and yogis have been inducing through hours of practice. But nature hands it to you for free every single night. The only question is whether you know how to use it. Most people surrender consciousness the moment this window opens. But Jesus taught his inner circle to do something different. He taught them to remain aware as the body fell away, to ride the edge of sleep without crossing over, to use the theta state as a vehicle into direct monad contact. And the technique begins with a paradox. You must relax completely while remaining intensely aware. These two states seem opposite, but there is a narrow band where both can exist simultaneously, where the body releases all tension while the consciousness stays crystal clear. Athletes call this the zone. Artists call it flow. Mystics call it the opening. Here is how you find it. Tonight, when you lie down to sleep, Do not just collapse into bed. Arrange yourself intentionally. Lie on your back, arms at your sides, but not touching your body. Legs straight, feet falling open naturally. This is important. The position removes physical distraction and allows energy to flow without obstruction. Close your eyes and begin to scan your body from the top of your head down to your toes. Not thinking about your body, but feeling into it. Notice where you are holding tension. Your jaw, your shoulders, your lower back, your hips. And as you notice each point of tension, breathe into it. Do not force the tension to release. Just breathe into the space where it lives and allow it to soften on its own. This scanning process takes about 2 minutes. By the end, your body will feel heavy, sinking into the mattress as if gravity has doubled. This is the first stage, relaxation achieved. But you are not asleep. You are awake inside the stillness. And this is where the actual ritual begins. Step 1. Establish the rhythm. Bring your attention to your breath. Not controlling it, just observing it. Notice the natural pace. Notice the natural depth. And after a few cycles, begin to count. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts hold. You are training your breath into a steady rhythm like a metronome. This 4-4 breathing pattern activates respiratory sinus arrhythmia, the natural synchronization between your breath and your heartbeat. As your breath becomes rhythmic, your heart rate begins to match it, and as your heart rate stabilizes, your brain waves begin to slow. You are creating coherence between 3 systems: breath, heart, brain. This coherence is the foundation. Without it, the next steps will not work. Step 2. Visualize the void. With your eyes closed and your breath rhythmic, turn your attention to the darkness behind your eyelids. Most people see this darkness and dismiss it as nothing, but chosen ones learn to recognize it as something. The darkness you see when your eyes are closed is not empty space. It is the field of pure potential. The Gnostics called it the pleroma. The Buddhists call it the void. Quantum physicists call it the 0-point field. As you stare into this darkness, shapes may appear, colors, swirling patterns. These are hypnagogic hallucinations, the random firings of a brain transitioning into sleep. Do not focus on them. Do not follow them. Let them come and go like clouds across a sky. Your attention stays on the background, the darkness itself. And as you hold your focus there, the darkness will begin to feel alive. It will feel vast, infinite, aware. This is not imagination. This is perception shifting. Step 3. Speak the name. This is the part that was most carefully guarded. In Gnostic teaching, words are vibrations that shape reality, and certain words carry frequencies that resonate with specific layers of consciousness. The monad has many names. In Hebrew, it is Ein Sof. In Greek, it is Bythos. In Sanskrit, it is Brahman. But Jesus taught a name that is simpler than any of these. The name is a sound, 1 syllable, and you speak it not out loud, but internally as a vibration that begins in your chest and expands outward. The sound is ah, not a word, not a mantra, just the first sound a human makes when releasing tension. The sound of relief, the sound of letting go. You sound it silently in your mind, feeling it vibrate in the center of your chest, and you let that vibration spread up into your throat, down into your belly, out into your arms and legs, until your entire body is humming with this internal sound. As you do this, something extraordinary begins to happen. The boundaries of your body start to blur. You stop feeling like a solid object lying on a bed. You start feeling like a field of vibration that extends beyond your skin. This is the moment. This is the threshold. Your awareness is no longer locked inside the limits of your physical form. You are expanding into the space around you. And if you can stay aware without panicking, without pulling back into the safety of your separate self, the doorway opens. Step 4, enter the monad. You will know when it happens because the darkness behind your eyelids will suddenly change. It will no longer feel like you are looking at darkness. It will feel like you are the darkness looking back at yourself. There is no other way to describe it. The observer and the observed collapse into one. You are not experiencing the monadat. You are the monadat experiencing this particular moment of existence. through the vehicle of your temporary human awareness. In this state, there is no time. Past and future exist simultaneously as probabilities held in the eternal now. There is no separation. What you call your life and what you call the universe are revealed as one continuous movement. There is no question because every question contains its own answer. This is what Jesus accessed. This is what the Buddha sat under the tree to find. This is what every mystic who ever lived was pointing toward when words failed them. And here is the gift. You do not need to stay in this state for it to change you. Even 5 seconds of monad's contact rewrites something fundamental in your consciousness. You come back different. Not because you learned something new, but because you remembered something you had forgotten. You remembered what you were beneath the story of who you think you are. But there is a 5th step that most teachings leave out, and this is critical. You cannot stay in monad awareness indefinitely, not while you are in a human body. The nervous system is not built to hold that frequency for long. So step 5 is the return. You must come back intentionally. And you do this by reversing the process. You bring your attention back to the sound in your chest. You feel it condensing, drawing back into your body. You feel the boundaries of your skin reappearing. You feel the weight of your body on the mattress. You begin to notice individual sensations again. The temperature of the room, the texture of the sheets, and slowly, gradually you move your fingers and your toes. You take a deep breath that is different from the rhythmic breathing, a breath that signals, I am back in the body now. Then you open your eyes, and the world looks different. Not dramatically, not obviously, but there is a quality to your perception that was not there before. Colors are richer, sounds are clearer. The ordinary miracle of existence becomes visible again. This is monad residue. The frequency you touched in that state continues to radiate through you for hours, sometimes days afterward. And every time you perform the ritual, the residue lasts longer. The contact goes deeper. The return becomes smoother. Let me tell you what happens in the days after your first successful entry. You will notice synchronicities multiplying. People will say exactly what you were thinking. You will reach for your phone and find a message arriving from the person you are about to contact. Events will arrange themselves with a precision that seems impossible. This is not magic. This is coherence. When you access monad frequency, you align with the underlying pattern that orchestrates reality. And reality begins to reflect that alignment back to you. You will also notice resistance. Thoughts will arise telling you that nothing happened, that you imagined the whole thing, that you are wasting your time with foolishness. These thoughts will feel convincing. They will feel like your thoughts. But pay attention to their quality. Real thoughts arise from curiosity or concern. These thoughts arise from fear. They are the voice of the ego sensing that its control is threatened. Because every time you touch the monad, the ego loses a little more of its grip. And it will fight to maintain the illusion that you are nothing more than a separate self navigating a hostile world. Do not argue with these thoughts. Do not try to convince yourself they are wrong. Simply notice them and return to the practice. The proof is not in belief. The proof is in repetition. Do the ritual tonight. Do it tomorrow night. Do it every night for 7 nights and watch what happens to your life. Watch what happens to your clarity. Watch what happens to your sense of purpose. Now let me address the question you are already asking. What if I fall asleep before the doorway opens? This will happen, especially in the beginning. You will be following the steps and suddenly you will wake up and it is morning. Do not interpret this as failure. Interpret it as training. Your body is learning a new pattern. Your consciousness is learning to stay aware in a state where it has always surrendered. It takes practice. The Gnostic texts say that even Jesus had to refine this technique over years before he could access the manid instantly at will. But here is the secret they also recorded. Every attempt counts. Even if you fall asleep at step 2, the intention you set before beginning the ritual has already shifted something. You are training your consciousness to recognize the opening, and with each repetition, the recognition gets faster. The entry gets smoother. What took 5 minutes becomes 4, then 3, then 2. Eventually, the doorway opens the moment you lie down because your system has learned the path. There is also a question you are not asking but should be. Why 5 minutes? Why not longer? Here is why. The monadad state is not sustainable in normal human consciousness. It is too vast, too unified. The brain, which operates on differentiation and categorization, cannot maintain that level of coherence for extended periods without specialized training. The 5-minute window is the sweet spot, long enough to make contact, short enough to return without disorientation. You are not here to escape the material world. You are here to bring monad frequency into the material world, to be the bridge between source and form. And the ritual I just gave you is how you build that bridge, 5 minutes at a time, every single night. Let me give you the signs that the ritual is working, because this is not about belief. This is about observable changes in your experience. The first sign is dream transformation. Within 3 nights of beginning this practice, your dreams will change. They will become more vivid, more symbolic, and more instructive. You will begin having dreams where you are being taught things, where information is downloaded directly into your awareness without words. These are not random dreams. These are initiations happening at the level of consciousness that your waking mind cannot access directly. The second sign is energy increase. You will need less sleep but feel more rested. This seems paradoxical. You are lying in bed doing a practice that should make you more tired. But the opposite happens, because when you touch monad frequency, even briefly, you are plugging into the source of all energy. You are drinking from the well. 5 minutes of monad contact can restore you more than 8 hours of unconscious sleep. The third sign is fear reduction. The things that used to worry you will begin to feel less significant, not because you are avoiding them or denying them, but because your perspective has shifted. When you experience yourself as the monad, even temporarily, you recognize that your essential nature is untouchable. It cannot be harmed by any circumstance. It cannot die. It cannot be diminished. And when you know this, not as a belief but as a lived experience, fear loses its power. The fourth sign is intuition sharpening. You will begin knowing things you have no logical way of knowing. You will sense what someone is about to say before they say it. You will feel danger before it arrives. You will recognize opportunities before they become obvious. This is not psychic power in the supernatural sense. This is natural perception operating at the level it was designed for. At monad frequency, the illusion of separation dissolves. And when separation dissolves, information flows freely between what you call yourself and what you call the world. The fifth sign is the ringing. If you have experienced high-pitched ringing in your ears that doctors cannot explain, it will begin to change. It will arrive at specific moments with intention behind it, and you will recognize these moments as confirmations. The monad using the only language that can reach you at the physical level, a frequency transmitted directly into your awareness. But I need to warn you about something. The moment you begin this practice, interference will intensify, not from outside forces, though those exist, but from the structure of your own conditioned mind. Every pattern, every belief, every identity you have built will sense the threat, because the monad dissolves all of it. It reveals every story you tell about yourself as exactly that, a story. Useful, perhaps, necessary for navigation of the material world, but not ultimately true. Your ego will produce doubt. It will produce distraction. It will produce elaborate justifications for why you should stop this practice and return to normal life. Expect this. Welcome it even. Because the intensity of resistance is proportional to the power of what you are accessing. If the ritual did nothing, there would be no resistance. Watch for the voice that says you are too tired tonight. Watch for the voice that says you can skip one night. Watch for the voice that says this is all nonsense and you are fooling yourself. These voices are not you. They are the program running on autopilot, trying to maintain control. And here is how you defeat them. You do not fight. You do not argue. You simply return to the practice. Every single night, no matter what the voices say. You lie down. You follow the 5 steps. You make contact, and you let the results speak for themselves. The Gnostic teachers said that the chosen ones are not chosen by an external god who plays favorites. They are chosen by their unwillingness to remember what they are, to push past the resistance, to do the work that everyone is capable of but almost no one commits to. You watching this video right now, at this exact moment, that is not an accident. You were pulled here by the same force that Jesus learned to access 2,000 years ago. The signal has been calling you your whole life, and tonight you finally learned how to answer. If this teaching landed in your awareness at the perfect moment, comment the words "Tonight I enter" below. Let other chosen ones see your commitment. Subscribe if you have not already, because the teachings that are coming go deeper than anything I can put in one video. And share this with someone you know who is ready. Not everyone. The masses are not prepared, but you know one or two people who have been searching for exactly this. Send it to them, not as a suggestion, as a transmission. 5 minutes, one ritual, every night. This is how Jesus accessed the monad, and this is how you will too. The doorway opens tonight. The only question is whether you will walk through it.